This video is strictly for educational, documentary and scientific purposes only.
There are not too many things a plant needs to grow. First of all, there is light and water. And for a plant to grow healthy, it also needs food. Hi, I'm Sebastian Good from FastBuds, and this 2-episode how-to is about the right kind and the feeding schedule for autoflowering cannabis. So how much and what nutrients does our autoflowering cannabis plant really need? First of all, when we get nutrients, they usually come with instructions for photoperiodic plants. So how do we adjust these instructions to the right amount for our auto girls? To sum it up right away, there is a special feeding schedule for autoflowering cannabis, and it does save us money. But I will talk more in depth about it in the second part of this series. Well, also we always have to keep in mind that all plants and all growing environments are very different, and therefore we have to listen to the science and get to know the plants and the environment to really know how much food and nutrients our plants really need. But let's start in the beginning. There's two different kinds of nutrients a plant needs to grow. There's macronutrients on the one side and micronutrients on the other. Macronutrients are needed by the plant in much larger quantities. We have nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Micronutrients, on the other hand, are needed in much lower quantities. We talk about iron, zinc, copper, manganese, magnesium, calcium, sulfur and others. To ensure that our plants have enough of these elements, we can choose two different paths: organic or inorganic. If we grow organically, then we focus on a soil which is living with microorganisms and healthy, very close to nature, and that way we feed these microorganisms with our nutrients. Then these microorganisms break down these nutrients and they make them easy available for our girls. This way the plant can decide when and which nutrients to take in. Usually you can get organic nudes for the flowering stage and for the vegging stage, and unless you go super wild with the nutrients or you totally forget to feed your girls at all, it's really hard to run into trouble. Inorganic nutrients are very different though, because when we use these, usually mineral-based nutrients, we feed a specific amount of nutrients directly to the root of the plant. So this way we really have to know exactly what our plant needs, because otherwise we can burn her with the nudes and that will stall growth and maybe even kill the plant. Also, we can damage the microorganisms, or most likely even kill the microorganisms in our soil. So we can never forget to feed micronutrients as well. As you might already guess, I am a fan of organic nutrients. This way it's just more natural. We are basically trying to maintain an ecosystem which is similar to nature. So if we create this ecosystem in a great way, in my opinion, we have better tasting and smelling buds in the end. But if synthetic or organic, the nutrients nowadays usually come in very similar forms. On the one hand, we have the most common nowadays, which are liquid nutrients. On top of that, we have powdered nutrients, which we can either use as a slow release powder on the top of the soil, or we can just mix it into the soil. And we can also buy pre-mixed soil with nutrients in it. So if we buy this pre-mixed soil, we can forget about feeding her during the vegging stage, because the nutrients for the vegging stage are already in the soil. I usually use the liquids, and I use vegging and flowering and sometimes even a little bit of boost in the end. But no matter what kind of nutrients we use, if we use synthetic or organic, if we use powders or liquids, one thing is important: we need to adjust the amount to the needs of our girls. For that we have the Autoflowering Cannabis feeding schedule, which I will talk more about in the second part of this series. So check out that video and subscribe to our channel. One tip right away: overfeeding is always worse than underfeeding. And always keep in mind, it's 420 somewhere.
Fast